Okay. Here we go. Sorry about that. Let me turn on both of these rosters. So, this is our second game of the day. It's going to be against Denmark's. Let me get the kfoged versus and his Dark Elves versus JimJimany's. I can't speak properly. I'm sorry, everyone. His Wood Elves. Now, the reason we're showing this game is because both Denmark and England did their very best in the first game, so they are at the top so far in the rankings. So this is a game that could actually matter down the line. Now, on the left, of course, we have the Wood Elves, and on the right, the Dark Elves. I have their rosters up at the moment. I'm going to remove them, and we can go through them together here, hopefully. There we go. Okay, so hopefully they can get back to me with what the weather effects are. And I actually have a tiny little pointer today, which is what I wanted all along. Happy me. So now I can, if I want to, slowly but surely here, draw on the map. Martin, did you catch what the weather was? Because I missed it. Oh, is it pouring rain again? It's pouring rain at the feature table, because apparently that's how that's how we that's how the feature table plays, apparently. So that's what the red piece indicates, which I'm sure none of you can actually see here. So let's go over the different teams, shall we? On the left, we have JimJimany's Wood Elves. He's running 2 War Dancers with a red base and a yellow base. Let's see where they are. This is the red base here, and this is the yellow base. The red one has strip ball, and the yellow one has tackle, as you can see in the top left. Then the black base here in the middle is the pass piece with leader, our tree, who is this guy apparently. This is the tree. Has guard, and then these pieces here are line elves with wrestle. On the Dark Elf side, we have also to point out that the Wood Elves have 11 players. They do not have an apothecary, whereas the Dark Elves, 11 players as well, but they do have an apothecary. They are running the 3 Blitzer, all with dodge, which are the transparent? No, they all just have dodge, I think. Yeah, so the red base is here, or orange. These are the dodge pieces. What the? Hang on. What am I? Yes, red is dodge, I'm sorry. Block is blue, which one of the Witch Elves has, because there are 2 Witch Elves. And the dump off piece, which is probably here in the back, I would assume, has dodge as well. Okay, that's slightly confusing. Hopefully it'll be less confusing in a bit. We'll see what we can do here. Let's see. What did I want to ask Martin about? Yes. Can you confirm that this red piece here, that this is the dump off runner? For those that just joined us, by the way, this coin here, this is the bowl counter, because we felt like that was just easier to deal with than anything else. So yeah, indeed it was. Okay, so that's good to know. So that's probably going to be the piece that's carrying the ball. Then let's see if we should move the dice tower possibly here, because it's slightly in the way, I feel like. So we're gonna grab this dice tower and move it down here in the corner for now, since no one's playing over there. And so that's a dodge out with one of the War Dancers here. That's the blue War Dancer. The blue War Dancer has block, so it's a good War Dancer, the one that's not going to die straight away. Okay, time to pick the ball up here with the runner. And this is a 3, so that should be a pickup in the pouring rain. The Dark Elves should be happy about that. That's just what they needed. Then we'll see. I realize that when we're running, or something that I have just realized, by the way, when we're running Dark Elves versus Wood Elves, it's kind of hard to keep track on who's who. So maybe for the next game we'll try to races that are less similar when it comes to the miniatures. But that's good to know for future reference. This is, of course, at least for me, mostly a test to see how well this works. And that's actually a good thing to point out as well. Both teams have 2 rerolls on the roster, but then, of course, the Birchwood Furies, they have an extra one because their thrower has leader. So as long as the thrower's in and they haven't used a reroll, they should be at 3. That was a Witch Elf with block, not a War Dancer. Did I say War Dancer? Yeah. This is going to be slightly confusing, but hopefully not too confusing. We'll see. But hopefully we'll keep each other sane here somehow. I think it'll be a bit hard to figure out where and what everything is, but I'm hoping that by looking at the play, the whole thing will kind of make it crystallize. Okay, here comes the blitz with the tree. That's good. Does not take root. Move over. And that's a Defender stumbles, and that's a knockdown on just a Dark Elf lineman. Let's see what happens. That's an 8. That's good enough if you have Mighty Blow. But a 7 is just a stun. Martin, can we see if they have stun counters and ask them to use that if possible? Because that's one of the things that's easier to see on stream, I figure. I agree, Jimmy. These models are kind of similar. Birchwood Furies does have a tree. It's kind of hard to tell. This piece here has is the tree. It's just kind of it's smallish from this angle, but there is in fact a tree. So stun counter coming out. Thank you very much. Everyone's being very accommodating today, which is nice. Let's see if I can remove this blob here. There we go.
But yeah, I guess if you're moving on that screen, it's pretty hard to figure out on some of that stuff.
It's Gamera says it's a sapling. Yeah, might be. Hasn't grown to a full end. Very true.
Many stunned in the same turn.
Yeah. So we can see the Wood Elf leader thrower here in the back. So that's the one we kind of want to keep track of if we're worrying about the rerolls at the moment. But that's, I guess that's the end of the turn for the Wood Elves. Not pushing too hard into the safe place where the Dark Elves are keeping the ball. We'll see what happens next and where the Dark Elf wants to go. So the blue piece here being the Blodge Witch Elf, and kfoged counting out, making sure he's in the right position. The runner holding on to the ball, which has, of course, dodge and dump up. Now, these are, compared to the last game, we saw some 6 and 7 teams, and these guys are, of course, for the most part, much faster than that. The War Dancers and the Catchers on the Wood Elves side, that's 5 pieces with movement 8, and on the Dark Elf team there's a full 6 pieces with movement 7. Of course, the rest of the Wood Elf team are all movement 7, so they can just about keep track. The Wood Elves are slightly faster, and here comes the Blitz.
5 for the hit.
5 for a hit on a catcher, and that's why it's 2 dice. And that's, unfortunately, just a push with no follow-up. The catcher's...
That's fine.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
yeah, just the players there talking about how, of course, if you... it's optional for the player with dodge to use dodge. And in that case, JimJimany was okay with using dodge, so his catcher wasn't knocked down, but rather pushed. Of course, in that instance, if kfoged, the Danish player, really wanted to just push the catcher, he could have used the push down instead.
That was a 4, but...
Yeah. So a 4 and a 6, that's a 10, and that's a 6. So that's a stun piece.
I need to get some weight in the bases of those guns. Quite tippy. Tiptoeing.
I'm gonna see here what else happens. So since it's actually less loud, I might up the dice audio here a bit for you guys to see if it helps. Because we can actually get some clear audio out of this for the most part. Yeah, I think it's important for those that don't know. England managed to snag the last 2 EuroBowls, so they are looking for the triple here, which kind of means that most of the other nations are like, other than winning, want to make sure that England doesn't get it. So, and Denmark and England were the 2 nations that did the best after the first game, so that's why we're having them here on the featured table.
Thank you.
So it seems like they are thinking about what they want to do. It's the Wood Elves' turn.
Almost like if you just took the system around, so you just move the other ones when you are done.
Yeah.
We can see here that the Dark Elves have formed a proper cage here. I mean, even though they have a runner with dump off, they don't necessarily want that piece to get knocked down.
You could just use yours.
And use that dump off. Is there a site with the teams on? I don't think there is a full list with the teams, right? Is there, Martin? On EuroBowl? There might be. No, with the actual team rosters. No. So, unfortunately, we can't get the actual team rosters. But if you're interested and want to double-check something, I can always put them up here. For example, here's the Wood Elf roster, and this I've only added the extra skills that they've taken and not the normal skills the players already have, because it would just be too much. So gonna remove that and go back to here. Oh, apparently, well, beach linked to something, so we'll see what that is. It's been one of those days where nothing happens and then everything happens all at once, of course. Someone was really happy in the background there. And Turas apparently knows 2 of the players from Team Germany, so that's good for you. I've talked a bit. We had a German player on for the first game, and he was really nice and friendly, so that was cool. Playing against a Polish player, but unfortunately he lost. So he was playing Slaughton and did not roll well enough. Okay, turn 3 for the Dark Elves here. Let's see if they want to move the cage or what they're going to do. It's going to be hard for them to try and run past the Wood Elves because they are so fast. So they might just be looking for and see if they can get some blocks in. And here comes the Blitz with with the Blodge Witch Elf. So should be able to get 2 chances to knock down this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, so that means first a... Okay, there we go. Pow! Knocks down one of the wrestle line elves. Okay, the kFoged not realizing that there is a web camera on the dice tower there. Unfortunately, 6 is not good enough to break armor, but okay, moving forward with the red or orange. No, that's the. That is a block blitzer. What? No, it's a dodge blitzer. Jeez. And following up with the so both of the orange-esque bases for the dark elves are essentially counts as red. So both this piece has blodge and this piece here, of course, has dump off dodge because this is the runner. Okay, and here's the clear witch elf here is dodging out. That's a 6, so that's just fine. It's a bit of a scrum here in the middle when it comes to all the elves just falling around. It's a dodge out from here to here. That's a 4. That's fine. Let's see, where did they actually? Okay, so this is currently where the ball is, which is interesting because there's a tree here, and of course I don't think the Danish player wants the tree to blitz into the cage. That would be slightly annoying, but of course there's also the case of the wood elves having war dances with leap.
Okay.
Yeah, for those that don't know, in this format, the nations bring more a set number of coaches, and as far as I know, they can only bring only one team per race. So it means that some players are going to be playing what are considered lower tier races, and that's why we see, for example, Slan in the first game. I thought there was a fly. This is actually my my mouse pointer in paint.net that I'm using together with a color key. So this is a screen grab. It's just that I removed all of the white, which means that once I actually paint something, it'll just show up here. I don't know if there are any halflings actually. I don't think we've checked. Yeah, Martin doesn't think so, and you've been around on the floor and actually looked at some of the games. So you have more know-how of what it actually looks like on the floor. Do you know who has the ball? Okay, so the ball is here. There's a ball coin that this piece is standing under. I guess it's kind of hard to tell, but this is the person that has the ball. It's really easy to tell when no one is holding the ball.
No one cares.
So that's and these pieces here are all dark elves, if I recall correctly. And then we have some more dark elves over here.
How exciting this is.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, kFoged being like, is this exciting? Who knows? Well, I kind of do think it's exciting, but it's mostly at this point positioning. Of course, we can see JimJimany here that's positioned his pieces in such a way that it's going to be hard for the Dark Elves to even try and run around on this flank. At the same time, being aware that, of course, the Dark Elves do have 2 frenzy pieces. So if you put someone here next to the sideline, you want to make sure that that person is not going to get surfed. And with this setup, that's not happening. Okay, and here comes the blitz with a tree, and it works.
Maybe I need to take the
One.
Yeah.
And here we go. And that is just a push. That tree is just wants to cuddle, apparently. Standing up one of the orange line wrestle pieces and dodging away. That's a 2. That's all you need. And more pushes. This is turning into the elfiest game ever. In that no one manages to knock down anyone else. So let's see if there's anything else. And that's the end of the Wood Elves' turn. Back to the Dark Elves here. They are kind of stuck right now. First of all, there's a tree here, which is annoying. And they seem to want to dodge away from it. That's a 1, but this is a Witch Elf with dodge. Makes it out, no Snake Eyes today. And that's a devastating 3-die block. Devastating. Getting rid of the catcher there. That's a 5 and a 1. Close. Yeah. Steamboy points out that Elves are going to lose, and this is true, but they're also probably going to win, or it might be a tie. There is part of our selection, because we always ask players who if they want to be on the feature table, and so far no one said no. But if you have any suggestions for what teams you'd like to see, please let us know, and we'll try and sort that out. I think for the next game today, we'll try and get something where the teams are where the miniatures are more easily to differentiate between the teams. So probably not elf on elf action again, but it's we're always asking to looking to test new things and see what actually works and what doesn't. So JimJimany deciding to check his phone there, very exciting. But it seems like the Dark Elves are clearly switching side, trying to get away from at least that annoying tree that had a tendency to blitz into their cage and push people around. It'll be interesting to see how the Wood Elves respond to this, since hang on. Let's see. Yeah, these are in. I'm sorry, everyone. I just realized something horrible. Let me fix this. Because let's see here. It's supposed to be the on the right hand side. The skills are in the wrong order. So it's supposed to be wrestle, then block, and then dodge. So let's fix that. There we go. Now it's hopefully easier to tell, to see what's actually going on with the skills. A knockdown there, and
yeah, both of them.
Both of them are prone, apparently.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh well, for everything. Not nice fancy roll. Snakes, but
yeah, I mean, notice something you didn't. I was very I was very like, hang on, why can't I look at the indicators and figure out what's going on? And then I realized, oh, they were in the wrong order. Both coaches now trying to debate what's what's happening next. It seems like the Wood Elf coach is counting up the skills. This is a pretty... Whoops. Go this way. This is a pretty... This cage here is... there are a lot of Dark Elves here. In fact, there's 8 of them.
From getting to play, how do you
There's
pronounce your name?
one here and one here.
Yeah, I still need to find a good word for the last name.
Okay. Well, if you need to know how to pronounce kfoged names, now you have some options if you can actually hear the dice audio here.
How it's spelled and just pronounce it like C-O-R-E.
I can only tell who the Wood Elves are because the Dark Elves are notably blue.
Just say something completely different.
I think the issue is that most of these people here are a bit too purple, but that's bound to happen. I mean, the elves do look similar, and we're playing a game where details on the miniatures actually matter a lot. Okay, wrestle line elf from the Wood Elves team coming in, going towards the one part of the cage. The Woods have a yellowish pants color. Yes, that's true. That's just still pushing people around with the strip ball war dancer, if I remember correctly. Yes, but not following up. Still, no one knocked out. Not that many blocks, but some of them low armor value.
We all know she's gonna die, right?
Yeah, the leader, right?
Yeah.
Double skull and then
This is a...
break will come when you fail something and
Cannot wait.
Okay, I think the Dark Elves are slightly more purple than the Wood Elves. They should have released the EuroBowl pitch on Cyanide for promotional purposes. Oof. That seems like it'll be a lot of work to get it into the game.
Yay!
That's a POW, and that is the blue witch elf, which is the Lodge witch elf. Ow. Okay, yeah, so in case you didn't know what happened there, so the witch elf was actually KO'd, but because kfoged has an apothecary, he used it to keep the witch elf in the game, so the witch elf is now only stunned instead.
Still going.
That's a whole lot of pushes from the tree, because the tree just loves to push. Would you like a cookie, Martin? Because I have some type of container for cookies. Thank you. Moomin gave me. That is correct, Sassasing. This is a resurrection tournament.
And then I just need to do like you.
Oh, no, please. I don't have it on the pocket.
No apothecary under Wood Elf, and that is both down. Is that going to be re-rolled? As far as I know, there's no progression.
Oh well. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So in case you wondered there, that was the Blitzers both locking one of the the other war dancer, and it resulted in a both down. But since both of them are blocked, they just stood around.
Taking turns. They've got 1 hour and 45. Yeah.
Okay, so it should be pointed out that me and Martin are kind of in charge of what we're showing up here. We have a feature table.
Same company.
However, since the seeds come out quite late, like they come out 15 minutes beforehand, before the game's time actually starts, that's why I'm always in a rush at the start to make sure that we have a game. So, and before then, you also don't know the matchups, so you can be like, ooh, we want an England versus Denmark game because they are in the top. Who do you want? We kind of want kFoged because his Dark Elf team is nice looking, and then it just happened that he was up against JimJimany. And yes, the other tables are packed quite closely to each other. It's actually long tables where players are. There are several games going on at once next to each other. So far, we are on turn 5. The ball has moved forward about 4 squares. It changed side, but other than that, it's staying put in the middle. Okay, move for the tree. Fell out of the dice tower, but that's a 4. That's a movable tree. So the tree is trying to deal with these pieces over here, which are all Dark Elf, and then if I'm not mistaken, most of the other Dark Elf pieces are in this area, and they don't really want to do much. So they're here and here, I think. That's okay. I'm missing one somewhere. But we'll, I guess we'll find out later where that piece is. They didn't water him before the game, so he isn't able to root. That might very well be true for the tree. So yeah, seems like we're kind of at a not standstill, but but we're at the point in the first half where I think both coaches kind of realize that something, well, for the Wood Elves less, but for the Dark Elves something needs to be done. And here comes the block from the yellow War Dancer. That's a tackle being used there to good effect, since all of the Dark Elf Blitzers with the orange ring have Blodge. Tackle, of course, negates that. That is just 4 though, and that's not enough to break armor. Yeah, there's not much armor being broken here. Oh yeah, one is prone, that's true, I miscounted. See, this is... It helps if you know how to count properly. But yeah, so that means most of the Wood Elves at the moment are over here, protecting pretty well against the Dark Elf menace. That's 8 of them, and then we have some more over here and here. That's a foot with a very oddly shaped small toe. separating elves on the pitch than Newquist, kind of. But yeah, like I said, we've the first few turns were pretty quick and fast. See what happened. But at this point, where everyone is still on the pitch, you kind of have to go. You have. I think both coaches are kind of like, okay, what am I doing next? What am I supposed to be doing here? Like, I mean, they both know that they want to score, of course, especially the Dark Elf coach. But is there anything the Wood Elf coach should be doing right now? Are there any holes in his defensive line? Are there any pieces that are too high up that it shouldn't be? Because in the end, of course, it might just be a pass play that's happening. Because even if the Wood Elf somehow magically manages to break into the Dark Elf cage that's around here. Oh.
All that thinking and then going back to the one-way plan.
Okay, so here comes the blitz. And that's a POW. Okay, just going straight back. Not following up. Let's, yeah, re-roll on the and then it fell out. Okay. So that's a 4 and a 6. But that is that. Yeah, it was it's a good thing about streaming it. Everyone can see what it actually was. But that's a 4 and a 6, so that's a stun. Unfortunately, a 3 is not enough for injury, so everyone is still on the pitch.
I don't like it, but I think it's okay.
No, I guess it's important also to point out that this Witch Elf here is lying down on the ground, but of course she has jump off, so she actually has the same amount of movement as everyone else. Now the Wood Elf are spreading out slightly thinner, but because of this piece is stunned here, this actually reduces how far the Dark Elves could move if they were to try and get past here. Moving this piece back here, of course, also stops any forward progression on the left-hand side. Yeah, so rain is a problem for pickups, catching, and passing, I think. You know what? Let's do the smart thing and actually look it up in the rule book, because I have the rule book here. I can just find rain. Here we go. Scroll. Because nothing is where I want it to be. Yes, so pouring rain. It's raining, making the ball slippery and difficult to hold. A -1 modifier applies to all catch, intercept, or pickup rolls. So we're about all equally correct. Hooray for us. Okay, here comes the blitz with the previously downed blitzer.
6.
Dodging out and blitzing one of the catchers. That's a both down, and that is good enough for the blitzer. But the rolls, they're so low, so very low. But it does mean that the blitzer has. That's a 1, but there are re-rolls left. And a 5, almost a 1, and that would have ended their turn. But that we finally have some scoring threats here on the other side of the pitch. Rolling a 5-foot, failing the easy dodge, going down. Let's see how dangerous the grass is. It's nice and cuddly. Okay, so there are finally some dark elves here that are just hanging out in positions where things might where it might result in a touchdown. We are on turn 6. Well, the end of turn 6 for the dark elves and the start of turn 6 for the wood elves. And I will be right back because I need to get some more water.
But it still watches after.
It's not being heavy.
Thank you, Bob.
Luckily, it's never far to water in EuroBowl. In fact, we have a moat surrounding this castle, which is not where I got the water, by the way. I'm just saying, it's a possible place to get water. The tree is slowly but surely closing in on these horrible dark elves. It's been the nicest tree so far, being able to do everything it needs to do up until turn 6 and possibly beyond. But now that there are scoring threats, most notably, of course, here and here, this one is just lying down on the ground being lazy. But these two, I think this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so with the GFI, and this one can just run in. Of course, remember, it is pouring rain, so it's one harder to catch the ball if they need to.
Is this on the block one? Yeah, it's a block.
And here comes a block, and that's a double pow. That's enough to knock down any type of witch elf. Moving the dice out of the way. One of the block dice. That's an 8. That is good enough. And that's an 11. That is an injured witch elf. That's out. No more blodge witch elf. The only witch elf left is the wrestle witch elf, which has the clear circle here. But that means the wood elves have at least pierced the cage of the dark elves with their blodge tackle war dancer. And in case you're new to the stream, haven't seen the dice before, these are D6 NAF dice, and the NAF side in this case, of course, is the value of 6. Let's see if there's anything else that JimJimany wants to do. Seems like moving one of the, or moving the thrower back to base the blitzer, and another line elf to base the dark elf line elf. Something very exciting happened. So these special NAF dice have been blessed by Nuffle before the game. I don't think that's possible, considering all they're doing right now, for the most part, is not injuring elves, and I fail to see how Nuffle would bless something like that. So the Wood Elves are moving in on the Dark Elf coach, having a wrestle lineman here and the tackle war dancer here is going to make it slightly more annoying for the Dark Elves to do anything. But it's not. It's not necessarily the end of the world. It's, of course, the this War Dancer might get, or could possibly get, blitzed by the Wrestle Witch Elf that's over here, which might free up a path for the Dark Elves to run down and score, but they probably don't. I mean, I'm sure they don't want to score on turn 7. Leaving 2 turns for the Wood Elves to equalize, that is just too much time, and they still should have rerolls left for the Wood Elves. If I read the layout correctly. Who are Scotland facing? I don't know right now. I've seen the list, but I don't remember. And Martin's not here, so I can't ask him. But we can see if we can figure it out later on.
Here. He could literally go fucking anywhere. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Some discussion there about what catcher should have gone where. See, JimJimany may have realized that there should have moved some other pieces where he wanted him to be, and now he's a bit low on movement. Quickly hiding one of the catchers there. Pretty sure this is a catcher. Looks like a catcher. It's got a big mitten. Yeah, the first cast of the day was was a bit harder to get things started there, and now we're on a roll for the most part. There are, of course, small, tiny things I want to fix, but I'm not going to be bothered with, like the fact that this this freaking thing is off center, but I mean, we can see the important bits, and as long as we can do that, I'm fine. Here comes a dodge, falling out, going back in. That's a 6. That's a fine dodge. Someone apparently rolled really well there in the background, which is, of course, stuff you want. Okay, and that might be the end of the turn for the Wood Elves here. Yeah, start of the turn for the Dark Elves. Let's see what they can do. Okay. Someone is saying something to someone in the background, which is always interesting, especially when it's in Swedish, because then it kind of pierces my eardrum and I'm like, someone's talking Swedish, blah blah blah. Whereas I'm munching cookies because I need the sugar. I think the reason you get those massive shouts and cheers is because most of them, so other than the feature table, the nations facing off each other sit on one side each of a long table. So you're sitting next to your teammate playing someone from the other nation on the other side of the table, as it were, which means that there are more people around that realizes how important some dice rolls are, which means there are more people that can cheer and be loud, and that's going to be, ooh, double pow again. But this time for the Dark Elves. Let's see if that does anything. No, it does nothing. No one is allowed to roll well today.
Oh my god.
Indeed.
blitz.
And here comes the blitz. That is not good enough to knock down that war dancer. And of course, this is a frenzy piece, which means this should be, if I've yeah, that is still good enough. Ooh, that's a 10. So let's see this stun then.
And we're back to 6.
And yes, back to 6s and stuns. But the blitz has been cleared. Moving forward. Dodging out of this player's tackle zones there. Moving the Witch Elf forward, so now we have one Blitzer, one Dark Elf lineman, and the Witch Elf here, all in scoring position. But more importantly, the player holding the ball is still in base-to-base contact with this Wood Elf lineman. So the ball is more scoring threats, but the ball is less safe, and the blitz has been used. So the question is, do you dodge out from this? Do you dodge back, or do you move another piece forward and block that piece away? Let's see what happens here. Okay, and it's a dodge back. Oh wait, did I miss? Yes. Okay, so this is not a Wood Elf piece. This is a Dark Elf piece. I was mistaken. Terribly sorry about that. Very confusing. That's a 3. So the ball is slightly safer again. There is, however, this piece here, right? I think this is a Wood Elf piece, but it might be something even more amazing. Well, I was going to say we'll never know, but we probably will know. We probably will know later on. It's not that difficult to figure out. Retweet a tweet. There we go. Okay, the dodging seemed to be working out here. That's a 2, and that's all you need. Now remember, the current ball carrier for the Dark Elves does still have... It's a runner, so the player does have dump up, which means even if the Wood Elves get a chance to blitz the ball carrier, the option is available to pass to someone who's within 3 squares of that player. Now, this is probably not something kFoged wants to do, but it is a possibility, and it might put the ball in a better position than otherwise. That's true. We don't have... well, there's actually... So in case you didn't know, because I didn't... so the score is actually here. It's just that I guess no one expects it to be more than 4 touchdowns on one side in EuroBowl. But basically, if you score, you put a marker here, and then if you score again, you move the marker over here, and it's the same for this side. So currently, since there are no markers, it's 0-0.
Yeah, and I think that the wheel actually, that's more... move in.
I'm feeling to be so sad.
No, the tree keeps moving. So how do you tell what half it is? Well, I think you, in this case, would just know. I don't know if there is a halftime indicator on the board, actually. I don't think there is. But it's also a thing that's at least, I mean, these boards are, of course, made for people that play the game, first of all, and, I mean, secondly or thirdly, for other people watching. And for the most part, that's one of the things that are kind of easy to figure out.
Do you know what sort of thing to do? Is it like a bit of everything, or
all in on something?
all in on something?
Yeah, so turn 7 here for the Wood Elves. That means, of course, the Dark Elves need to score next turn. And there are scoring threats that could move the ball down. So it's a question of, does JimJimany wants to go for try and sack the ball carrier and risk it being handed off to someone else and then not having enough pieces in the background, or does he wants to base all the people in the background, making it harder for someone to actually move into the end zone? None of these players had more than 11 players starting out coming into this game. However, kfoged did have an apothecary for the specific reason to get one of his injured players back in, and he used that in the first half on a KO on one of the Witch Elves. That's I can't recall right now if it's the same Witch Elf or if it was another Witch Elf that then was injured and knocked out completely. But since the elves are so expensive, you rarely see people buy extra.
Maybe still a little.
Early on.
Even if it doesn't work, it will still be awkward, I think. Besides if you just fail it.
We're in the pivotal moment. If you want to know, you can watch on television. I'm on television because I'm important.
Yep, so JimJimany is on television because it's important. This is true.
He's been very unlucky, but I am not playing very well.
So we'll see what happens here. Now I'm just listening to their banter. That's you need to tell me if it's coming through or not.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so JimJimany moving the catcher to stand next and remove assists from any of the other Dark Elves.
Be a nice thing to do.
That would be a gentleman there.
The gentleman thing to do. Crashing down. Yeah. Justin Reed.
Counting again for kfoged's Witch Elf. That is pretty close by and should be the easiest pass. Remember, it's still pouring rain, so everything is, well, most things are one harder to do. Yeah, I mean, like the audio quality from the room is very bad, and unfortunately I can't do much about it. I do have headphones on, so it's fed right into my ears, but I have it slightly lower to you guys because from time to time the volume does make my ears bleed. And it seems like JimJimany decided that no, that Witch Elf is scary. Oh, and here comes the move. That's a 4.
4 plus. 4 plus 4 plus. But if he makes it, it would be awesome.
So we're going to see if dump up is being used here.
The ball is 3 and 3 plus no matter what. 2 plus. Yeah, 2 plus all trip, yeah.
Okay.
I guess I'll try to dumbo flip.
Can I accept?
I think I could actually. Only problem, I could go backward, but if it fails, it would be even worse.
But if it works,
Yeah, so kfoged is debating who to dump off to, dumping off here to the piece in front, which means this piece can intercept, or dumping backwards, in which case, if it fails, it's going to be here, which is even worse.
Yeah, I needed to up here, so I can quickly set. Nope.
That's not an intercept.
The pass?
Here comes the pass. That's a 1.
The fumble?
Which means we have a scatter, and that's straight down. That is not the worst place for that to scatter to. It's still next to a lot of a lot of elves. It is very echoey in there. It's a big ass room with hard walls.
At least the right side to dump it.
Yeah.
And now this.
See, that's a 4 out of 4. So that's enough to break armor, and that is just a stun. We have to redirect the dice tower again. Gets knocked around a bit by players from time to time. And maybe it's time to move it again, since there are actually some action down here. So let's put it. Ooh, okay. Let's put it here. So JimJimany just counting the squares here and see what he can actually get over next to the ball, because of course, while the runner is now stunned, there is only one tackle zone from the wood elves on that ball, which may not be enough.
I'm excited.
And it's also a case of maybe JimJimany can score here. There's this piece over here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 squares away. So this is a possibility here.
So what we're looking at? 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus. And then the game is over. And then the game is over.
So lots of dice there, 3 plus, 4 plus, and some more. But it is doable. The question is it worth? Is it worth to try?
If the stats here, that's probably better for me. Probably. Alright, we'll do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Yes.
Okay. I will try and remember to say hi to Jim from Becky and Sing. Hopefully we can get them in here after the game and see what they have to say about it.
Pass.
Okay, here comes the pass action. That's the first dodge. That's a 6. That's a doable dodge.
At least use a dodge first.
The second dodge here. That's a 5.
And then the pickup.
And the pickup. That is not enough.
Oh, you need to
That
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. From there to there, you intercept.
hang on.
6 by 3.
Let's see. So
Help me, food. What? Which one is it?
oh, they're yeah. So they have a cheat sheet over here to figure out
And you can intercept. You are.
what the how difficult it is and what the let's see. so this is then a yeah, that's a good cheat to have.
6, 7, so dodge. Pass to him, 3 plus.
Hang on.
Inaccurate. It's 8.
Okay, well, and a 1 back on the catcher here. 8 and a 6. That is a pretty good place for that ball to be if you are kfoged. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Let me. Well, so since both of the coaches agreed to it, I'm not going to come out and call it because that would be a bit strange. But I'm also not entirely sure how these guys are here. But yeah, so I'm reading it as this is a dark elf. Maybe I'm wrong here. This might be the dark elf. So in that case, the only tackle zone is here, and then it might have worked. So I'm not entirely sure, but the coaches seem to be totally fine with it. So, and that's what we're gonna. That's what we're gonna go with. I'm gonna lean it towards me being really, really tired, and making a mistake in what was actually on the pitch, rather than the people that are playing EuroBowl miscounting. I do think the difficulty though might have been one harder. Yeah. Well,
We really want us to teleport them down there.
yeah. See, that was us counting badly. So there was only one. I guess it was this guy and this guy here being the difficulty. So that was not a fight. That was needed. Whew. Isn't it nice when you're like, hang on, isn't that wrong? And then you're like, no, it's just you missing something. Wait, hang on. Oh. No, okay, so. Oh no, hang on. I'm very confused now because kfoged should not be on turn 7. He should be on turn 8.
Are you allowed to talk or do you have to be quiet? No, you're allowed to talk.
There we go. Let's see what happens here. That's a 7. That's not good enough for a broken armor.
We will know a lot more in 5 minutes. Anything, there could be any score.
Famous words, fucking yeah. Well, if you have friends and they haven't tried Blood Bowl, the tabletop version is very fun.
Yeah, in the first half.
Be very
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 plus, 2 plus, 2 plus, 2 plus, 3 plus, 2 plus.
fantastic. You even got enough to do a little sidestep at
Pass.
Okay.
Dodge.
Okay, so the dodge works out. Let's see if the pickup works out.
Is it still raining?
Nope. 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't matter. We agreed on it.
Okay, so apparently they asked, is it still raining? And they said no, so I guess it's not raining. I guess maybe it only rained at the start and then it changed in the kickoff, because I think I missed the kickoff. So that might have been the case. So everything I've been saying about the rain has been wrong all along. That's a 1. Here comes the reroll.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Up at neck.
Sick.
Okay, and kfoged actually got the touchdown there in the end. Slightly confusing there, but I think that was mostly me being confused rather than anything else. So nice weather on the kickoff, and that was just me being tired and missing it. So it rained for a short while, and then it stopped. So all of the things I talked about, it being harder, of course, wasn't. And that makes sense. Hi, Martin.
Hello.
How's it going?
It was intense in the last 2 rounds there.
Yes, very much so.
Just checking for possible teams for the next match.
Oh, excellent.
With
Excellent.
extra visibility.
That's good. So, we're getting. So I don't know when the BB box is getting. The new BB box is getting released in stores. I know that Games Workshop is sending one over to the Paradox offices because apparently they're nice people. But I haven't seen it yet. I was asked by a coworker if he was like, "kKnoor, you like Blood Bowl? Do you want to paint these?" And I'm like, "Hell no! I don't know how to paint properly." But yeah, it'll be fun to get my hands on the box and just touch things, see what happens here. So the turn counter there should be 1 turn left for the Wood Elves since it's the Dark Elves drive.
Doesn't help me. Doesn't help me.
Hang on. Right there. Thank you, Moon.
I'll take your time, mate.
I'm not going to be good no matter what I do with 10 players. It's really hard. It's going to be 3 players with me. No matter what I do.
Okay, so let's see what happens here.
3 players. It's almost better just putting in the background then.
I think kFoged is debating where he wants his pieces to go.
You've got a guard, so you can fuck's sake, man.
So, trying to decide here how to best position against a possible, what I'm assuming is a possible 1-turn touchdown attempt. The Wood Elves are, of course, very, very fast if they want to be movement 8 on several pieces.
I have an assassin.
Oh, so it's a bit.
Okay. That is possibly... Nope. I was going to say that is possibly the setup for kFoged, but it's not. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so kFoged is setting up for the back here, realizing that against the...
I cannot make it harder than just the 2+2+.
Yeah.
Because if you can show me how to...
This is the best way for you.
Yeah,
It would have actually been a lot easier if you'd set it like you were.
when 10 players. If you had 11, you still have to do some more boxing.
Yeah.
But with 10 players, there's no way I can put them in reasonable because then I'll just give you a path to one of the sides.
The way you'd set it before, I actually didn't need pushes. Powers would have been fine.
Yeah.
So they're talking. So
something out.
in case you can't tell, what's actually
No matter what it is.
happening here is that kfoged has decided to move it. He realized he needed to defend against a one-turn touchdown attempt, and was thinking about it a lot, and then decided that no, the best way to do that would be to just put everyone in the back. I'm not sure why. He should be able to have enough to cover the whole pitch with one tackle someone more, which he does. So here we go. Let's see if so JimJimany does have a full team. So, and one would assume that this is something that might happen quite a few times when playing EuroBowl, and it's something that you kind of have to be prepared to fix. So doing some counting here, making sure that the pushes and everything is correct. And there we go. Now kfoged has also fixed his turn counter.
I know he went down, but it's going to be.
But yes, for those that don't know, an illegal procedure. If you don't move your turn counter when it's your turn, your opponent may call illegal procedure, which used to mean you lost your turn or you lost a reroll, and now I think it's just that your opponent gains a reroll, depending on the rules are slightly different depending on with what rule sets you're playing. But I don't think JimJimany called illegal procedure here, so it was just corrected, so everything is on the right turn now. But it's one of those things that's not really fun to call. Well, sometimes it is when you're playing Blood Bowl, but mostly it's like, it's annoying, but it kind of has to be done, because otherwise you end up with a game where you're like, but what turn are we in? I don't know, I thought you were keeping track of turns. That kind of thing. So we'll see if JimJimany can do this. Now, of course, the difference here between this one-turner and the one that usually happens when someone else streams in, for example, in Blood Bowl 2. Jimmy, it is in some. I'm not necessarily sure it's used in this one, though. Doesn't really make sense. In any case, that's the illegal procedure discussion. What was I going to say? Yes, when you do have more time to figure out how you need to set up your pieces, you are going to take that extra time, and that is what JimJimany is doing at the moment.
Oh yeah? In 13, you played
It's a poll. I have no clue if the Blood Bowl 2 AI is better than Chaos Edition. I would advise you to play against human players, because that's where the fun is.
3 times you played in a EuroBowl.
2 times. Oh, 3 times a week.
Yeah.
That's actually mad.
Yeah, crazy.
But that's also because I'm
So ready?
busy.
Yep. Can I order a 6 and a 5?
Okay, and that. Okay, so pretty far back kick. That's a 1-1,
The ball lands.
which should be a. Oh right, we are not. We are using a different kickoff table on this, aren't we? Or are we?
Because I thought,
You put the so he's all up there and there.
it was going to be this catcher I changed. Okay, I'll have to work it out again. What did it get?
5.
Alright, well I just played really badly. Okay.
Let's see if you get.
No, it's number. Let's see. Yeah, so kickoff table number 2 is get the ref. Yeah, so that's normal. So.
Oh, it's on video as well. Shit.
Yeah. Let's get
It's
some
true.
first
It's on video. Don't fuck it up. That was me. That was not my intention.
down here again. You can see we got some blacks.
Alright. Well, that was embarrassing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
As at least we still have 2 catchers on the line. It could be worse.
Can I lower the ambient volume? Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Agreed ice.
It should be a bit lower now.
I guess we're not used to having 11 euros.
It's a Games Workshop tournament, no noise suppression. No, so the microphone for the ambient noise is actually on the dice tower, but it's mostly, regardless of where you place a mic here, if you didn't mic up the players, it would sound horrible because this is a very large room with a high, well, noise level. So what you'd want is a lovely studio, like you'd probably put people in the room where I'm actually sitting, but then I'd have to be out in the big room.
It could have been a lot easier.
But we're back. Oh, you could have waited a bit like that.
Okay, that's not a not an injury, not an armor break. Okay, so here comes the blitz. And that's so his catchers, hang on, his catchers should be this piece, and yeah, I think it's this piece that's going to be the one that's pushed, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, just pass to him and then hand off to him. Yeah, this is it, guys.
That's not the problem.
Yeah.
Or it might be. It might be this piece. I don't think I don't think I've seen this this type of push before. So that one works, and now the push piece is here, and this piece is here.
Yeah, besides the triple skull. Or triple bolt down or something.
So we'll see what happens here. Okay, moving in. So now it's the tree trying to push here forward. It's definitely like missing the or making the one turner not work is definitely something that I can relate to. Let's see how far. So what we need to do now is, hang on. We'll move the dice tower down here, and then let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Besides the snake eyes, it will be 1-1.
Catch. Do you know what to do? Do you know yes.
But is that Jim's
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
1, 2, hand off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Set up by one turn. It was perfect.
Okay, so here comes the handoff.
He's going to turn push. I'd like to turn push. A different one now.
But it's important here to notice as well that these are the Wood Elf catchers, and they have a movement of 8, but they do have sprint.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go for it, and then so go for it first. Go for it first.
So first a go for it, which works. And here comes the dodge, which works. Go for it. And then a dodge again. So go for it first. That's a 1. That's rerolled. And here comes the dodge.
And then go for it and dodge. So go for it first.
So go for it, and that works. And now the dodge. and that works. So yeah, that's how you do a one-turn touchdown.
Oh well. Shit happens that we killed.
So 1-1 after the first half. I'm sure JimJimany is very happy with that. He's also still has all of his players, whereas the Dark Elves are down one of their Witch Elves. And yeah, elves are gun elves, just as Jimmy Fantastic points out. It's one of those cases where
see that I did it wrong?
Let's.
Commented on he takes 10 minutes and gets it wrong. And then it works anyway.
Wow, and Martin goes straight out and just calls out Twitch chat. What a guy. Yeah, this was the first half. These games can take a while. We can actually, well, let's not. We'll see what part of the screen we don't need, and that's where we'll put the dice tower. I think the coaches are stretching their legs a bit, and maybe I should do the same. So I will be right back, you guys. I'm just gonna take my headset off, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, we give you a few minutes extra to keep the pace, if possible. Okay, good. Yeah, go.
4-4-7. I don't think it will be a problem, even with that. So I need to go down, and then we need to miss something, and then I'm back. Okay.
Whew. Okay. I'm back. Let's see what happens this half. Typing with a PS4 controller is pain. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, we've already started.
4, 5, 6.
So this to me indicates that someone rolled a blitz. These like. So the kickoff results on the feature table have been insane for the most part. Okay, so running forward here with the with one of the blitzers. Oh.
always have all players. It's just no fair.
It took much to turn 7 to make the first stun, I think.
don't know. But he has glitched you, which you do behind. It's not done.
So
That's what 1 on the second go for it.
that's a 1 on the second go for it. That's tricky. Oh, and goes down with an 8, but that is... So that's the Dark Elf Blitzer there, falling down. That was such a good start, and then a 1 happened, and it kind of saved JimJimany from being down, well, possibly being down 2-1 at the start of the second half, which is not something you want to be. But even then, having a down blitzer on the side of the field, of course, does put some pressure on. It's not necessarily, like, it's not something you want to happen. It kind of moves your plan around a bit. And I don't like where this dice tower is, so we are going to place it here in the bottom left instead, where it's hopefully mostly out of the way. I have a feeling that I'm going to have to move the dice tower around quite a lot this game. That's still a 3. There's not much armor breaks going on over here. We've, so far we've streamed Noors versus Slán, and the Slán got hurt at the start, but other than that, not many casualties or injuries. So 1 out of 3 teams got really hurt. Everyone else has been fine, you guys. 7 or 8. That's a 7. That is not enough. They might not have rolled the ball scatter when the ball landed. That's true. They probably haven't. But it's one of those cases where if none of the coaches notices, I'm not going to run out and mention it. That's a 1. Using a reroll here though. That's a 5, so the ball has been picked up. JimJimany here counting, making sure that no one can actually blitz his ball carrier, which happens to be one of... So that's a red ring, which means that is the Blodge strip ball war dancer. The tree doing work this game, has managed to be very surprisingly involved for most of it, but as everything else, not breaking armor. It's the same. Like, yeah, Blood Bowl is full of puns, like Knuffle is an NFL pun. Naff being something that's a bit shit, I would assume is intended as a funny word joke as well. Oh, that's not good enough. That's an 8. Need more. That is... Well, the Dark Elves are going down slowly but surely. Ooh. Oh. Well, it's a stun! So, at least for JimJimany here, the Dark Elves are going down, even though they're not going out.
Got you just where I want you.
Okay, so kfoged's running in to threaten the ball here. That's a 6. That's just what he needs. So slowly but surely, the pieces are being knocked back down here. I'm a bit slow on the oh. So that is one of the Wood Elves wrestle pieces going down. Whew. Pretty long breaks at Games Workshop. Well, it's not like they have any games that's quick and snappy. That's another one. Now it's after that result, it's time for JimJimany to make sure that these pesky Dark Elves are staying further away from the ball if they can.
Blitz, 1, 2, 3.
Knocking down that Dark Elf, threatening the War Dancer in the back. Let's see if anything actually happens. No. So, oh, and a push. Well, they have been getting a lot of pows lately, so it's hardly surprising. And not really. We'll see if the ball moves this turn, or if there's any place for the ball to actually move where JimJimany deems it to be safe enough and protected enough to move the ball. Currently, it's quite far back, but since it's 1-1, there's no real need for him to try and score earlier than turn 8. And while the Dark Elves aren't as good as the Wood Elves at doing those one-turn touchdowns, they're not half bad. Well, actually, they're exactly that. They're half bad. Because they only have movement 7, which makes it harder, but not impossible, I think, is what I'm trying to say, even though I'm saying it quite badly at the moment. Okay. That's the second KO of the game. Dodging out. And now that's a very deep... Well, I was going to say, that cage is really far back. I'm kind of sad there isn't a ref pig. There are teams that do have referee figs. There wouldn't really be anywhere to place it on the board, though, here in this case. So most of the stuff I've tried to strip away because it doesn't actually fit on the board. So here we go. So let's see what kFoged goes for this time around, making sure that there is a touchdown piece here. Both down with the Blodge Blitzer there. That is still not good enough. Yeah, it's kind of tricky to tell who's who at the moment. For the next game, we'll make sure that the races are slightly more difficult, because this is definitely a challenge. But at the same time, even though I fuck up, these are two really, really good coaches, which does make it an interesting game. But I totally agree with you guys that it would be even better if we had more easily distinguishable miniatures at the moment. It's unfortunate.
I can't remember actually. I haven't seen you doing it to drive words.
I know you don't get sent off, but I thought it was still a turnover.
Can you remember Margaret?
So, talking about rules, if it's a
Words. If the right words on a...
Yes.
Is it still as kKnoor?
No.
I remember right.
no. So in the last half, they did get the ref. So they do have bribes, and now they're discussing whether it's a turnover if the bribe works or not. I am here. I'm about 10 meters away from the board, but I am I'm in a different room, so they can't hear me commentating. I honestly, while I do agree that the board is a bit messy, I'm not sure changing it would change anything, because I think it's not. The miniatures are, but we can always look into and see if there are different boards that are available to us. Yeah, it's streaming Blood Bowl tabletop is definitely a challenge, and I'm sure that once we do this some more, we'll figure out what the best way to do things. I think the challenge, for example, for EuroBowl is that the seeding or the different matchups comes very late, close to game start, which means we don't have enough. We don't have that much time to add all of the information that we need, basically. We are streaming at the same table. We're streaming the same table, but we have a feature table, so that's a 3 and a 1. That's not good enough. We don't specifically have to pick the top match, but it does seem like it's kind of what we should do, making sure that we have someone from the teams that are at the top, because I mean that's kind of at the end. The English team here are chasing their 3rd win in a row when it comes to EuroBowl, and they are one of the main contenders for it. I know that other people have talked about Italy and France also having a very good shot at winning this, but currently after the first game it's England and Denmark at the top of the leaderboards. Let's see, are the bans for the skills just for a streamer, or is that something players normally use to help sort? It's something they normally use. In this context, the setup for the game is that you have you pick a team, you buy the players, and then you have a skill package, which is that you can, depending on your tiers, you get different amounts of skills, and then you somehow have to make sure that your opponent always knows what skills what player has, and an easy way to do that is to use these types of rings. Okay, and turn 3 for yeah, there are a lot of players in each team. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's right. Martin actually has the list of the English team here. So on Team England, we have Lycos as the captain, I think. Then we have Purple Goo, Gegster, Podfrey, JimJimany that we're watching currently, Joe Manji, Mubo, and Wilsif. And those are the players from Team England. On Denmark, these are the NAF coach names, by the way. On Denmark, we have Triple Skull, Miss Sweden, kFoged, Tank, Topper, Special One, Jackra, and Nibbling. So, in case you know any of those people, they're on you probably already know that they're here. Still, really, JimJimany is keeping the ball pretty far back here, which I guess kind of makes sense. Like I said earlier, he's in no rush to score. It is, after all, only turn 3. Yeah. Thanks to the Star Eater for posting the EuroBowl rolls here. Basically, England has a lot of really good players. Miss Sweden is in the DK team, yes.
some people watching the stream are lacking a score somewhere.
Yeah.
Is it possible? I don't know. It's
I mean, we'd have to ask the players just to mark their scores over here, which would fall onto you, Martin. But we can probably find some pegs somewhere that we can use.
This is garbage.
So currently, I have been talking about how there hasn't been that much injury, but while I've been talking about other things, we can see that the Dark Elves are slowly but surely dwindling down here. 4 of them are out. So that just leaves, as far as I can tell, 7 Dark Elves left on the pitch, which... Oh, that's loud. But, well, and now... Well, now there's even less. Oh, that's actually... I was wrong. There's actually 6 Dark Elves that have decided to not play any more Blood Bowl. There we go. So now we have some score counters. Yeah, outbashing people with woodies. That does take a lot of. He's played really well so far, making it hard for first of all making it hard for kFoged in the first half to actually get that touchdown, having to do some a bunch of extra rolls there at the end. He made it, but then coming back with the one-turner, and now it looks like there shouldn't be too much problem for kFoged is taunting JimJimany to take the both down just to see if he can knock out more Dark Elves. Oh, it's happening. Okay. Let's see how this goes. So this should be JimJimany's role here. That is not good enough, unfortunately. And that was close, but also no armor break on the tree. That is very true. As Jimmy points out, the fact that there are so many Dark Elves out, it's not going to be possible for him to do a one-turn touchdown at the end here if Jimmy scores on or JimJimany rather scores on turn 16. I mean, I guess on the plus side, one could argue that the first half took a really long time, but it's looking like this half is not going to take as long, possibly. Okay. This is kFoged running around here in the back with his dump-off dodge piece. But what else is there to do? Okay, dodging again here. That's fine. 6. Here comes the blitz. Okay, so that's an interesting. Oh shit! So that worked. Dodging into that is, I think, that didn't work though. And re-rolling that, and that is of course against the War Dancer, so a POW is needed here. That's a both down, and the white witch elf actually has wrestle, so both of them go down, and the ball is now free. And that's a 1, so it's see if the wood elf catches it. He does. Okay. Well. Interesting. That was, you know what? I don't really think anyone expected that, to be honest. That's Martin coming in, fixing the dice tower there, hopefully. Look at it go. Yeah. Wrestling's a good skill. That's why it's the Prince of Skills. Actually, King of Skills. Prince of Skills is something else that I've forgotten. That was a... Let's see, that was a 6+ dodge. If I read all of the pieces correctly, because there were 4 tackles into that dodge. Right, that's true. Prince of Skills is guard.
Blitz. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. That's right.
And here comes the blitz to get rid of the dump-off piece. That piece has dodge, though. But I guess, let's see, it's not the yellow... Yeah, that's the yellow war dancer that has tackle, so that doesn't matter. And the 6 doesn't really do much. Deciding to move the ball forward here, realizing that there's a scary witch elf in the background that's going to dodge into pretty much anything if JimJimany lets her. Okay, more blocks here in the back. So, oh, a double pow. JimJimany here really wanting to make sure that the Dark Elves stay down after, well, half of them been knocked out. But, oh. So, another foul here. And a bribe used to not be sent off. So that means there aren't, as far as I know, there aren't any witch elves left that can do that sweet thing with wrestle, because there's only one wrestle piece. And the tree is still on the floor, because why would you need to pick that piece up? Oh. Okay, here we go. Another dodge in. That's not a 6 this time, only though a 5 was needed. And the Dark Elf goes down. That's a 6 and a 1. That is not enough. Thura says, so after 2 games, I'd say the right side of the table is cursed. Might very well be the case. This is how it looked after, about how it looked after the first game as well. But in that game, this happened in the first half and not in the second half. But that is really, that's unfortunate for kFoged. But at the same time, it's important to point out here that this would have been, even if this would have been a totally different game if JimJimany hadn't managed to make that amazing one-turn touchdown at the end of the first half. Having kFoged be up 1-0 at that point would have made that, even if this score would have happened, it would have been a tie and he'd be forced to score again. So really important tie there in the first half for JimJimany. Okay, let's see how we're gonna do here. It's definitely not looking great for kfoged at the moment. That was a few turns there where the pieces just fell down and decided to get knocked out. And another foul, and another Dark Elf no longer on the pitch. But at this point, kfoged is mostly laughing about it. I think both coaches have kind of seen where this game is going, and kfoged just needs Nuffle to listen to him and give him better sixes and make some really strange, aggressive plays that are not going to work. Because oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got the pressure on now. Back to legs off.
Well, threatening the other player is always a good option. Saying that they'll bite their legs off. Okay, this is basically a total block to make sure that no Dark Elf can dodge in to that and knock the ball loose. It's also turn 7 right now, so just making blitz with a tree. And it's 1-2. Here comes the GFI. It's a 6. And that is... Are we going to see a both down again? No. We're going to see a re-roll. That's the loner roll there first. But we don't need that final roll because defender stumbles. Okay. That's a 1 into a 4. Son. Okay, so kfoged is 6-7, made it to the edge of the of the cage. Used a reroll. Did not fall down the second time. That's a push. Now it's just pushing the Wood Elves into the corner, which should advance JimJimany's track forward. So kfoged has 1 turn here unless he gets a riot. One blitzer came back. 2 blitzers came back. Look at all these players. 4 players. Well, as kfoged pointed out, if there's a riot, things. I'm sorry. I'm having a bit of a yawn. I mean, it's very. It's very, 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 very unlikely that kfoged can turn this around. But I mean, technically, it is it is possible.
Oh yeah, I mean, this looks like you played really well.
This is my new formation. I call it stealth bomber.
Good. We're looking like, it looks like sort of, we have 3 wins, 2 or 3 draws, 2 and 3 lose.
Okay, so kFoged here, setting up, only having 5 pieces left.
Absolutely not.
Okay, that's 6 to 7. That's a riot. Okay. Well, this this game just turned strange. So riot actually happened, which means that there's a slim chance that kFoged can actually possibly turn this around. He does have the pieces here with the orange ring are his dodge or blodge pieces, so they are kind of likely to stand. Of course, JimJimany has a yellow. Has a yellow piece here with tackle, so that means, of course, dodge is negated. But here we go. Let's see if he manages to pick the ball up. He does. Okay, that's a scary place to stand at, though. In theory, let's see. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Okay, kFoged are now using the dice to cover the ball carrier. Almost worked, but has decided to instead do a GFI back, and that seems to have worked too. Question now is, where do the other Dark Elves go? Dodging out is fine. Moving forward and protecting the ball. And that's a 1, and the Dark Elf goes down. That's dangerous grass. That's a 10 into a 9. That piece is KO'd. This I don't know what to say at this point. It's just it's such an I was gonna say interesting game, but I feel like that doesn't really cover it. Oh, hang on. This is wrong. This is supposed to be this. Sorry about that. So if you've had slightly worse quality than you should have, it's because my encoder settings were wrong. And it'll be, hopefully, it'll be fixed after this game. So, yeah, some people are pointing out in chat, Fashbinder, the defensive line of JimJimany was a defensive line made by someone who did not believe in the power of calling for riot and actually getting it. And now he's busy trying to cover the Dark Elves as much as possible. So that is should be a 3-die blitz, but that is not good enough. And here comes the reroll. That is good enough, though. and that is, of course, the tackle piece. So in 6 dice, managed to get 1. That is also good enough for armor value. Let's see what the injury is. Just a stun. But there is still one. There is still one more piece. And that piece has to do a 6 plus dodge, which, I mean, we've seen kfoged do that before, so I have a hard time seeing how that's going to be a problem. What needs to happen is a dodge out and then possibly, like, at least going somewhere around this area so this piece can run down and make the pass. But half die is also definitely a possibility. Going half die over here, for example, which is actually probably, someone should do the math because I don't have it in my head. Going 2 dice against here is definitely a possibility. The question is then, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Okay, now half dying here is still problematic. Half dying in other places might be even worse. Actually, it might still be best to go over here and then try and get out, but you'd end up over here. So definitely, well, it's there's a slim chance, but it's yeah, now they're discussing the long bomb possibilities of the pass. Okay, having the tree go for the foul here? Okay, the tree wants to move. That's a GFI. Nope. The tree falls down. Let's see how deadly the grass is towards the tree. Not at all. He's fine. Okay, and a push to get rid of the tackle zone, and that's fine. Now, I guess, comes the dangerous part. Blitz has been called. On top left, I should follow. Okay. That worked. No, hang on. That piece has dodge, so it's just a push. But that's good enough in this case. Dodging this dodge is difficult with that one. I did not catch that. That's a 1. That's unfortunate, and the game is over. It's 2-1 to JimJimany against kfoged from Denmark. I'm gonna go see if we can. I'm gonna turn on my interview cam here and see if we can get some words with one or both of the coaches, and then we'll be back in a bit. Look at my lovely background here. Ooh. Hi guys, welcome to. So this is where I hang out. You've been playing on the feature table. JimJimany, you were the Wood Elves. kfoged, you were the Dark Elves. Look good at the start. Something happened in the second half. Well, did you just decide to, you know what, I'm just going to outbash the Dark Elves?
Yeah, well, the second half was a bit of a clown show, really. The first half I thought was a really interesting game. A lot of interesting things happening, but the second half was not really.
No, Nuffle just decided that this is how it's going to be.
Yeah,
basically a non-game for
Yeah, very.
in the middle of second half.
No, I think a lot of people talking about the first half. There was good defensive play by the Wood Elves starting out. Interesting breakthrough at the end. Then the one-turn touchdown. What happened?
Well, I thought I'd been really clever, and I thought I'd managed to get it that I would only need to make 2 blocks to get the square 2 players forward, which was correct until I then moved that player somewhere else, which was not good.
No,
but, yeah.
I recognize the type of play where you're like, oh, this is really smart, and then you're like, oh, I should do this first because it's safe, and then you're like, I can't do the smart thing now. Yeah. And then but you got there in the end still.
Yeah, well, it's really hard to stop Wood Elves from doing that, especially when they've got 11 players. They've got all the options open to them.
So, kfoged, how come they had 11 players? What happened?
I think we got to turn 7 before the first armor break on the Wood Elves. Yeah. Kind of, it's tough. It's playing down. Dark Elves is not really supposed to play down in players against Wood Elves. That's not really good. It's completely. So.
Yeah, well, they're one of the most dominant teams in the game when they have all 11 players. So, but I thought the first half was really interesting. I had some good early pressure that I thought would sort of cascade, but Food did a great job of bringing it back and sort of holding it from there. But it's such a cagey game, Dark Elves v Wood Elves. Dark Elves are probably the safest team against a Wood Elf typical cage wake.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, so they're putting, they've got some really good counterplay, but I thought the first half was really interesting.
So question for both of you guys. You have 4 games left, 1 game today. What do you want to play against, and what do you hope to not play against?
I think Wood Elves are, by the nature of their design, they are the best team in the game. So I'll happily. There's a few teams, Dark Elves, Humans, and Necro. I think are particularly well suited to deal with them, but it's still a fair game at that point.
Yeah, it'd be nice. No more Wood Elves.
No more Wood Elves.
I could do that. Some undead, bring it on.
Okay. Well, like I said after the first game, congratulations and best of luck to you all for the next 4 games, assuming you're not playing against Sweden, in which case please lose.
Okay.
And thank you so much for playing. We've had some nice people in chat saying they enjoyed it very much.
Oh, Twitch chat's nice, is it?
Well, my Twitch chat is lovely.
Okay.
Also, Becky and Singh says hi, by the way.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
And for you guys watching, we will be back with the next game. When is the next game, Martin? You know this.
Will be on
Martin knows everything.
Sure.
And we don't know. We don't know anything. We're just playing.
5 o'clock. So in about half an hour, we'll be back. Until then,
and thanks very much to you for doing the streaming. It's really good. It's something Blood Bowl could do with a bit more of. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Shout out to Doreen and Clive.
Oh.